Soviet Union launches 2 scientific satellites into orbit. U.S. patrols the South China Sea. Ford Racing Division takes the GT40 to race the 24 Hours of Le Mans. The year is 1964, and this car could be had at your local Mercury showroom. But before getting into all of it, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like, the automotive channel that covers the cars that are not often talked about. We cover the classics, vintage, some exotics, lots of orphan cars, and cars that are frankly being forgotten. We talk history, design. Did you ever just want to know more about the cars? That's what this channel is. If that sounds like something that you would totally dig, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. 1964 Mercury model lineup. These may or may not be in any particular order. Comet, Monterey, Montclair, Park Lane, Commuter, Colony Park. Mercury offered the Comet from 1960 to 1977 in 5 generations. 1964 falls in the second generation, which had a production run from 64 to 65. The Comet came in a few flavors. In 1964, you had the 222 at the bottom, followed by the 404 in the middle. Caliente was at the top. Mercury also offered the Cyclone under the Comet trim. The Cyclone model, which to my knowledge was offered with a Hypo 289, and there was 50 of them offered with the 427 V8. If you have any more information on the Cyclone, that would be greatly appreciated because there was tons of conflicting information. Comet also could be had in wagon form, but the Caliente could only be had as a 2-door convertible, 4-door sedan, and 2-door hardtop. 1964 saw a redesign, so let's compare 63 on top, 64 on the bottom, starting in the front. Look at how squared off the new 64 model looks compared to the 63. Just about everything has been revised. The windshield and vent windows look very similar, possibly the same. 64 has hood ornament, whereas the 63 has fender markers. Quad headlights, both of them have quad headlights. The headlights are closer together on the 64. Grills, bumpers, all completely different. Moving to the side profile, the 64, you can definitely see it is more squared off, even at the side profile. Look at how different these two side profiles are. Side mirror placement is different. Bigger fins on the 63. Comet badging on the rear of the 64 versus front of 63. Bright work is totally different. Fender skirts on 63 versus the 64 doesn't have them, but it might have been an option. Looking at the rear design, 2 totally different designs. Better look at the 63 fin situation. The 64 has fins, albeit they are short and stubby fins. Looking inside at the interior, dash is redesigned, as well as steering wheel. Horn ring on the 64 versus the 63 doesn't have a horn ring. Which one do you like better in the comment section below? Let's talk specs. 195.1 inches long, 73.8 inches wide, 55 inches tall. It rides a wheelbase of 114 inches. It weighs 2,690 pounds. Price, $2,380, which is equivalent to you spending $23,349.11 in the year 2023. Total 1964 Mercury production was 298,609 units. Total Comet was 187,956 units, and of that number, Caliente convertible 9,039 units. Moving on to engines, which there were 4 engine options, 2 6-cylinders, 2 V8s, starting in the basement with 170 cubic inch displacement, inline, overhead valve 6, 2.8 liters. It's good for 101 horsepower, at 4,400 RPM, 156 pound-feet of torque at 2,200 RPM. With a bore of 3.5 inches and a stroke of 2.9 inches, compression is 8.7 to 1. 4 main bearings wrapped in cast iron. With a 3-speed manual transmission, 0 to 60 could be had in 14.9 seconds. Theoretical top speed 90 miles an hour, while achieving 17.5 miles per gallon average fuel economy. And these numbers are all baseline numbers. You might get better, you might get worse, just a baseline. Moving on to the optional 6-cylinder 200 cubic inch displacement inline overhead valve 6 3.2 liters. It's good for 116 horsepower, 4,400 RPM, 175 pound-feet of torque at 2,400 RPM, with a compression rating of 8.7 to 1. Moving to the first V8 option, 260 cubic inch displacement V8. 164 horsepower, 4,400 RPM, 258 pound-feet of torque at 2,200 RPM. Compression 8.8 to 1. When backed with a 3-speed manual transmission, 0 to 60 could be had in 10.1 seconds. Theoretical top speed 106 miles per hour. Average fuel economy 15.3 miles to the gallon. Moving on to the biggest and baddest engine on offer. 289 cubic inch displacement V8 4.7 liters. It's good for 210 horsepower, 4,400 RPM, 300 pound-foot of torque at 2,200 RPM, with a bore of 4 inches and a stroke of 2.9 inches. Compression 9.3 to 1. 5 main bearings when backed with a 3-speed manual transmission. 0 to 60 could be had in 7.8 seconds. Theoretical top speed 112 miles per hour. Average fuel consumption 13.2 miles to the gallon. Moving on to transmissions, you had the 3-speed manual, the 4-speed manual, automatic Merc-O-Matic, as well as the overdrive. 1964 Mercury could be had in 13 solid colors or 19 two-tone color combinations. Let's talk chassis. Suspension. The front suspension used low friction ball joint with deep coil springs, complete rubber insulated steel torsion bars, link type stabilizer bar. The rear consisted of rubber insulated 55 inches long semi-elliptical leaf springs, double acting hydraulic shock absorbers. The brakes on a 6-cylinder were 9 inches drum brakes all around on all 4 corners, or on a V8 was 10-inch drums on all 4 corners, which were self-adjusting hydraulic. Notice I didn't say power operated or dual master cylinder. The dual master cylinder didn't come into play until 67. You could get power brakes as an option. So let's talk styling. Look at everything that is going on up front here. Notice this piece here and how it comes to a point. It's nice textured effect there. Look at these headlights. Also notice the grille is mimicked here, but it's just painted on. Actual grille, simulated grille. Just look at how this comes up too. Nothing's flat. The grille comes to a point here in the center, as well as from all sides. Look at these bumpers and how they're designed. Turn signal indicators down underneath. Looking down at this hood design, just notice how this middle part's raised up. So look at all the different lines that are going on in this hood design. Look at how this is indentated out with the ornament in the center. So just check out all these lines and textures going on. Coming down the side. Look at how petite this line is. It gets more aggressive as it goes out the rear, as well as this all textured inside. Also check out this line here and look at how aggressive it gets. Wheel wells are flared and then it tapers back inside the sheet metal. Look at how raised this fender section is. This is what the rear view side mirror looks like. As you can see these lines as it's going out the rear. Coming to the rear section. Get this interesting line here. Look at all of the different design elements in the rear design. As well, it's got a rear grille, Gas filler door is right there. So just take a gander at this door panel. Look at all the different materials used. This feels like a metal up here, vinyl down here. Some nice bright work to differentiate between the colors. Armrest as well as door handle to pull the door shut. Nice light so people can see the door is open. But notice it's in the center of the door panel and not the edge. Window crank for the big window. It operates like that. It's all nice and trimmed, framed out. Vent windows work like that. This is the door handle to get out. This is the switch, toggle switch to operate the side mirror. I'm not going to mess with it because it's not my car. Down inside the pedal box down here, high beam switch. This is for the windshield wipers, the wash feature. Hand brake, brake pedal, gas pedal. This is to a vent. This is for the power top. Just take a look at this interior. Here's what over the hood impression looks like. Here's what first person over the hood looks like. On to the button switches and knobs, gasoline gauge, headlights, windshield wipers, left turn signal indicator, oil pressure, speedometer with odometer just below it. Drive modes read, park, reverse, neutral, drive, low, amp meter, right turn signal indicator, coolant temperature, ignition, lighter, radio, heat, temperature, and defrost. Up above, there are sun visors, and this is what they look like. They're on the slender side. Nice rear view mirror here with daytime, nighttime feature, as well as a night visor for the passenger. It's got power steering. Yep. Look at the windshield washer bag. Yeah. You put power brakes on with the dual master cylinder hiding underneath this. Is it Monte Carlo bar or the cross rubber?
Only the convertibles have that for support.
It's got a nice aluminum radiator in here with aluminum shroud attached to it.
That's homemade shroud.
Oh, it's awesome. Coolant reservoir. Is this a generator or is that an alternator that looks like a generator?
It's a generator.
Sweet. Batteries right there and the solenoid. I had a 67 Mustang. Everything's pretty much the same under here.
This is funny. I had one of these on my truck. I have a 94 Chevy truck.
Yeah.
And this is about, I'd say it's about 25 feet long. But
nice.
And you can take it to the back and change the tire or something.
Oh, nice.
Tire or something like that. And I put that on there just because I thought I'd like to have it.
Nice. Yeah, thanks for opening. Look at the VIN number's in the same spot as it is on the Mustang. Yep. On the positive side, these aren't seen as often as, say, a Falcon or a Mustang. These are a very light car with good performance. Comfortable seat, comfortable driving position, very affordable. Convertibles are fun and uncommon. Against it, they are rust prone. The performance is kind of with the 6 cylinders, but you could make it better with a couple carburetors and a big cam. Clean originals are hard to find. Some body parts are hard to come by. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather. 2 scenarios today. Would you rather have a 1964 Ford Mustang or a 1964 Mercury Comet, or 1964 Dodge Polara? I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Moving on to the second scenario. Would you rather have a 1964 Plymouth Valiant Signet, or 1964 Mercury Comet, or 1964 Pontiac Tempest? Going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to give both the name of the band and song title correctly in the comment section will have their comment pinned to the top of it. Thank you all so much for coming out and watching this. If you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a comment in the comment section below, or check out our Facebook group that correlates with this YouTube channel. All of that will be linked in the description below. Just know I appreciate all of the support. And until next time, toodaloo!